Let's go ahead and get into some movies right now. A couple of movie reviews, starting with Passengers. Now, here's the thing about Passengers, man. You're looking at this and people are saying, now this is kind of cool right here. A little something for everybody. First of all, we got the very handsome Chris Pratt. And then you get Jennifer Lawrence, who's in this. And how can you go wrong in a sci-fi movie where I'm looking at the trailer and they've even managed to bring in romance and
robots.
And robots. them Zumbas and shit, Roombas, what are they? Roombas. and they also have what looks like some action and adventure in there. But for some people said, yeah, it looks cool, but man, you don't know. Man, this is fucked up. This movie is just downright creepy. You don't know, bro. And you're like, well, I don't see how that is possible. Now, here's where we come into a little bit of a predicament here. To talk about that aspect of it, we might be stepping into some spoiler territory. So I'm going to have to figure out at the last minute right here how to go in and maneuver around this spoiler territory while also trying to bring you people a pretty comprehensible review. And I think we can do that. So what we're going to do is we'll tell you what's good about the movie, for at least for those of us who can, and we'll also tell you the things that don't work with the movie and what it comes out to, and we won't tell you what that is. Now we'll reverse back and then give the details for those who want to know. And the spoiler thing, it might not be a spoiler because it happens about 20 minutes into the movie,
right?
But I want to be fair. I don't want to, it's good business not to just put it out there for people who don't want it. So we'll try to do this the best way we can.
Okay.
And here's something that's not a spoiler. You can see this pretty much in the review. I really do like how this is set up. There's a lot of things that are going on in this movie, and the reviews that you probably are reading are telling you there's a lot of comparisons to a lot of things out there. But I'm just going to go ahead and simplify it for you. This film, Passengers, right here, is you can say it's Castaway in space. And if Wilson wasn't a volleyball, but he was a hot chick. and they invited the bartender from The Shining to join in.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds crazy, but it's simply as much as that. What you have here is that, no spoiler, you have Chris Pratt, who he's joined about 5,000 people on a journey to another planet light years away, about 130 light years away. And look, ain't nobody gonna live that long to get there. So everybody's putting hypersleep, and apparently this proven technology that never fails, failed his ass because he woke up early. How early? Oh, about 90 years too early, by himself. Nobody but that robo bartender from The Shining over there.
And he can't get it to go back to sleep again.
And he can't go back to sleep. And so there's a lot of food up there, a lot of accommodations for him, but what he don't have is company. Nobody else except for those little robots, those little vacuum cleaners, but I don't count. They can't talk. That fucking bartender says the same shit over and over again. Mm-hmm. You get tired of him real quick. And plus with that bartender, he's like, you cool, but I just don't swing that way, man. I can't fuck you.
You ain't got no legs.
You don't even have anything to fuck. You ain't got no bottom half. I guess we could do oral, and that's, no. If you give in, ain't nobody around to see this either, but, and then Jennifer Lawrence wakes up too. So you have two people, fortunately they're together, but hey, come on, guys. The old saying is, you deal with this chick for so long. A guy can be with a woman for all his life. His life will be in marriage probably about 50 years, 60 years tops, but 90 years can't do that shit.
Well, you'll both die before that time.
Yeah. So can these two learn to actually live together and be happy with each other? Because that is all they have. Well, so you heard me describe this to you. I'm telling you this because I think the movie has a great setup. I really love the setup in this film. When Chris Pratt wakes up and he starts wandering around this ship, that's where you get the big sci-fi element that's going on here. And the reason why I like that is because this is that sci-fi where the tech, it's going to be a long way off, but it feels kind of plausible.
Yeah.
You know, it's something that
And
made.
we've seen enough movies to grasp the concepts.
Exactly. This is not that science fiction where we think that'll never be possible. No, we think like maybe one day in my lifetime, but it'll be around. And on top of that, Chris Pratt's character, he's blue collar, man. When he gets up, yeah, he's handsome, but you know, he's a factory worker. He's a mechanic. You know, so we kind of see that this is the other situation where, hey, I can relate to this guy. Through him, I'm thrown into this really cool sci-fi future. And when you have those elements that are relatable in this situation, it makes you feel like this could happen to you. And that is the scary thing about it. I mean, this is a big luxury spaceship, but when you realize that, and being that he's blue collar, he ain't even getting the perks that the rich people get.
That is one of the good things they throw in here is the point when you realize that him being lower class, he doesn't have access to the good food. It's like, yo, you don't have credit for that.
Because he can't get the first class treatment that actually might kill him. Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? You know, before it was just kind of an inconvenience. Now it's life or death. And all of a sudden, this glorious ship, which was cool for a few minutes, becomes very threatening.
Welcome to the observatory.
We are in transit from Earth to Homestead 2. We will arrive at approximately 90 years.
Did you add that?
You missed it. You don't remember that part?
They should hire you because that scene needed that.
No, I cut that because when they said that, that's what I said. I was like, fuck! I was like, man, let me put this in here so you really get how he feels.
I love how the computer's voice, it's almost like it was kind of laughing at it. Anyway, it was like, 90 years?
When did we leave Earth? 30 years ago.
How long we have? 90 years. No, I mean, it'll be cool though, man. You'll be all right.
I'll be around. You won't.
Would you like me to read to you?
You can't even get the good oatmeal. You know, this is yeah, man. This it works with the setup they have there. The claustrophobic feel, this whole thing, and really, man, this feeling of loneliness, you just don't understand how there is until that's one of the things I can say that's great about this movie too. These sets that they have. I mean, yeah, you can tell that they're sets, but everything is so sterile and everything is supposed to be kind of plastic feeling. And, you know, they make sure that you see how lonely he is because everywhere he goes, he's this small. Right. You know, these rooms are they're so cavernous and big.
It looks like the Apple Store designed a hotel, and then that would be
which, hey man, now that you said it, that's happening. Yeah. But. And you know what? Here's the other thing I like about it. I don't know how'd you guys feel about Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence?
You mean them together or just them on their own things? Because
yeah, kind of together. Because people have been kind of saying this is great, and then some people are saying I'm not feeling them.
I think they did a good job with the acting portion of it, especially Chris Pratt in the first 20 minutes, because he gave you that feeling, that kind of reminiscent of, like you said, Castaway, where time is going by and you understand the loneliness, and then you can kind of feel for him when he's going through all these struggles being by himself. And when Jennifer Lawrence comes into the picture, I think she does a great job too. But the issue is, I don't think it's their fault when this movie starts to take a downward spiral. It feels more of the writing.
Yeah. It's they can only work with what they're given, and I thought individually they worked just fine outside of the what happens. Although, as a couple, I wasn't feeling the chemistry. To me, it was just more of like, well, look, the two pretty people who are together. So, what else are they going to do? But just on their own, not really.
And you know,
they weren't a couple that I was rooting for.
And the other thing, why I said it kind of comes to the writing too. They were the writing in here. They would do moments where it'd be like, "Oh, your beauty is just devastating." Like what's it, Nicholas Sparks novel?
Yeah.
So you're just like, "Oh God, why is this in this?"
Yeah. When he's saying that, I was just kind of like, dude, you don't just do that."
Okay, you know what? You hit on a good point here because see, hey, look, if nothing else, you can look at these two people. I mean, they look good together. They've chose. If you just want to go by aesthetics and just be shallow, they are.
If you're breeding the next race, sure.
This is them. Yeah, this is some real Nazi shit going on. You know, this is they look good. Chris Pratt is the reason why I believe in Satan. Because I can't believe that dude's under all that baby fat became this guy right here.
Well, if you ever saw any movies where he was younger, he was skinny and he looked like that.
Okay, because I ain't seen those movies. I seen Fat Pratt.
I saw one of them and it was like, oh wow.
Yeah, but I look at them and I'm like, hey man, together they're a great looking couple. Now a lot of people, like Martin said, there's no chemistry right there. I think that is something that is intentional, or at least it works to that benefit, because she's elite. She's a writer. She got money. And him, like I told you, he's a mechanic.
He's an indentured servant.
Yeah, exactly. Just by class, they are not, he would be out of her league no matter how handsome he is. And I think that no matter how they get together, that's where that awkwardness comes from. Like, he feels like, I don't know if I'd be able to get a girl like this. And so they never, just by circumstances, they are together. But, it feels like a guy who's on a date with a girl that's making him very nervous.
You two look fine this evening.
We're on a date.
Very nice.
Took you long enough to ask.
Let me tell you something about her. Because I was thinking about this, she was ready to wake up and fuck somebody.
Seems like it.
Because you know what I'm saying? Because she had all those outfits. Mm-hmm. Like, I think she might have just one, just lounging outfit, like one jumpsuit, and even that shows her curves. But everything that she puts on in this movie is some lingerie shit or some Victoria's Secret thing.
That is very true, but she's like a millionaire.
Yeah,
so.
she's got access to the higher end stores.
I know, but she shops at stores where strippers shop.
That is also true.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
It's the future.
Dressed like Dr. Girlfriend.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, the future's one big stripper pole.
Well, it's like, okay, like something you were bringing up, how like, he's a mechanic and she's the elite. But it's still looking at him like it's not selling it to me when he's so like, oh yeah, I could never get a girl like that. And I'm like, dude, fuck you. You look like Tom Brady. I'm not feeling it for you that this is such a struggle. And I forgot what I was going to say.
I know.
And furthermore,
got you that mad.
Yeah, I know.
It actually
You too sexy, you son of a bitch.
Even he's like, and Martin,
but if he had been like the schlubby fat Chris Pratt we were used to, I could buy that then.
Okay, I mean that kind of didn't bother me because you could come up with an excuse for that. Maybe he was fat in high school and has got bad self-esteem and then
but if he had a twinge of a lower class accent, but the whole time watching it, it just kept reading to me like, well, they seem like they're on the same level. They keep telling me that he can't afford this other stuff, but other than that, I don't see what separates.
Yeah, it
them.
didn't bother me at all, man. I actually thought it was. I actually thought it worked, and even then, there's something that's bothering him, and always in the back of his mind that he wants to be careful around her. So I thought a lot of people divided on that. I thought the chemistry was there. I liked them together. I have no problem with them, man. This is where we get into now, where we got to be careful, because let me just say this without ruining anything. What starts out as kind of deep science fiction, with a lot of thought-provoking subject matter, eventually just turns into the third act is just one big kind of lame, empty, romantic blockbuster.
It's for everybody who saw Gravity and thought it was too cerebral for him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if your ass was too dumb to enjoy Gravity,
it's Gravity, but with a lot more explosions.
Yeah,
like, here, watch Interstellar. That's too smart for me. Gravity, that's still too smart. Passengers, got it.
Yes, some explosions. It's Yeah, I don't even understand how y'all don't understand gravity. It's just people floating.
They don't understand gravity.
Y'all the motherfuckers that think the earth is flat and shit. I don't understand. All that shit that we were talking about before, all that deep stuff that we set up.
All those smart science fiction movies that have been coming out.
Yeah.
We ain't doing that.
No, fuck that. Fuck that. No, man, people want explosions. It was almost like somebody actually put the movie to the test, like put the script right to the test and said, man, what you set up here is great. You know what? So how does it end? Hey man, ain't Jennifer Lawrence hot? Hey man, look at the explosion I got right here. You like that? You know, they really do everything to kind of like distract you from how lame this shit gets.
Yeah, we just turn it over to the effects team and let them do the rest.
They pulled a sunshine. This movie changed in the last half.
Man, does it get deeper than this? Yo, man, spaceships, man.
You remember the fappening?
Yo, man, don't you want to fuck Jennifer Lawrence, man? Huh? Yeah.
Yeah, how far are you willing to go to fuck Jennifer Lawrence?
Yeah, man, but what about all this shit you set up? Are we coming back to that? Man, you see that bathing suit she got on? Shit, look at them titties, boy. All right, you know what? You ain't got shit. And they don't. They really don't, man. Everything that they set up, they just, I mean, it was almost like a motherfucker was giving a lecture on this film. They just yanked the rug from under that dude.
That's the thing, man, because this movie, it does something that it just shocked the hell out of me. Like, there's so many moments, like, if this movie was going on a straight path and it just had, like, there's all these exits saying, hey, great twist here, great twist here, just turn off right here. No, we'll keep going straight. And you're like, all right, anytime you're thinking something's about to go bad or twist and make the movie more interesting, it's like, no, we're just going to be standard.
Yeah,
we don't want you thinking.
They go the opposite way because, it starts out with the whole idea of being alone in space. So just loneliness, like, how devastating that is. And by the second act, we've gone into some deep, twisted moral territory where it's just like, wow, if you guys are going to explore this is going to be a much more interesting movie than I thought. Mm-hmm. Nope. we ain't exploring that. We just gonna put it out there and act like we didn't do what we just did.
Yeah, what they did was, they had a test screening and it just took a couple of us to come out and just be like, huh? Man, I don't feel happy. It's like,
I want to take a shower.
I'm going to go watch Transformers. Okay.
I watch movies to be entertained, not to think. You made me feel bad. It really, look, all I'm saying is go one way or the other. You can't. What they do here? Personally, I feel like you can't have it both ways. Now I'm gonna go ahead and
it could have easily have been fixed too.
Yeah. And it does. I mean, there's some really cool things that happen here, and I'll get into it. But right now, I'm gonna tell you what the rating is. If you want to stick around for this potential spoil, I don't really think it is because it's really they get it out the way early. But if you don't want to be spoiled, I'll tell you right now what I'm gonna give this. Martin, let me hear what you're gonna give it. Martin, what are you giving?
I've been torn about this because for the most part, it's such a, without going into the spoiler territory, it's pretty mediocre. I mean, there's some good things that in the beginning make you go like, oh, it doesn't deserve that bad low Rotten Tomatoes rating. But later on, it's like, oh, yes, it does. And by the end, there's nothing. But that thing they do, that they set up, that we'll talk about, it makes me almost want to give it some old bullshit because it's reprehensible what they do.
Okay,
but I'm gonna give it a rental.
All right,
I'm in the same boat with him. I was thinking like I don't know if I want to give it a some old bullshit or a rental because again, that second act thing, you're like, well, even if you go, if you decide to delve into this more, they would have did that in the third act. You'd be like, all right, this movie could have recovered and done something great, something we haven't seen before. But then they just go off into explosion world, and you see all these crazy action scenes. And the one thing I'll give them a lot of credit for is that it looks beautiful.
Sure.
I give it that. Yeah. And even though they were given shitty writing, Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence are able to, with their charisma, make the movie somewhat interesting.
Yeah.
So it's a rental.
You know what? Before I give my rating, I thought that this might be spoiler territory, but it's not. In fact, this is a warning for you people out there. First of all, to give it the movie credit for one more thing here. The stuff, don't get me wrong, the special effects in this are great, and I don't mind having them in there. As the movie goes on, the sets get grander, the spectacle gets better, and it can be enjoyed on that level without all the other stuff that's in there. And I thought about this. This is not a spoiler. This is a warning to y'all out there. If you are a big Andy Garcia fan, they do the biggest cock tease on you right now. They trolled your ass, man. That's Andy Garcia right there. You think, oh shit, I can't wait to see his role in the movie. This is his role in the movie right there.
Neither could he.
Yeah. I'm talking about man, not only is he hardly in the movie, they did him wrong.
They did. He took his kids and his grandkids to see this movie.
Yeah.
To the premiere.
Man, I'm telling you.
This in a double feature with Max Steel.
You're like, what? Because what you see right here, now what I'm showing people, those who are listening, I'm showing you a frame of him coming out of an elevator. That is his role in the movie. It. Do you want to see his role in the movie? I'm showing you all of his role in the movie right here. This is it. Him coming out the elevator. That's it. Even Lawrence Fishburne right there. He's like, damn, man, you didn't get my text?
He's like, I got your role. My bad, bro.
Like, we moved the time up.
Yeah.
You knew.
He's like, man, you ain't in this movie. You cut your shit.
They had the nerve to credit him in the trailer and in the movie. I was like, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm telling you.
But there's only 5 actors in this whole movie.
They could have gave him something because they did him wrong. He was about to walk out there. His mouth was open. he was about to say something, and they just cut that shit.
Yeah,
it's like Luke in the Force Awakens.
And he didn't get a chance to say shit. He came out. Somewhere out there's the director's Andy Garcia cut of this movie.
It's Andy Garcia's cut.
Yes, I'm sure he's playing at his home, at his villa.
This is the Andy cut.
Projected to the wall.
Like, I love that Lawrence, but damn, bro, man, you drove all the way here.
And we forgot about him. Lawrence Fishburne was good in it too.
Lawrence Fishburne was good in it, but again, they did him wrong. They did him wrong. Lawrence Fishburne,
magical Negro.
He's a space magical Negro, man. He does not have a cameo. He is a tool.
Yeah.
He is there. He's a narrative tool. He's there to pass a piece of equipment to somebody else. That's it.
He's there to usher the second act into the third act.
I like the movie maybe slightly. I don't know, better than these guys, but that's not saying a whole lot. Yeah, it's a rental. And if this movie had gone on a little bit longer, they probably would have dragged it down.
Oh, easily.
Because the way it ends, I mean, forget some of the deep shit in there. They really ended it like, okay, well, we got to go. You know what I'm saying? They had another story to tell you. They did something where you look at them like, how the fuck did they do that? And they're like, well, I guess they're going to explain it. Nope, credits.
From like,
that was it.
Castaway to Swiss Family Robinson. Like, how?
How the fuck? How does this even make sense? It was almost like they didn't even want to explain it. Yeah. It was like you asked him, man, how'd you do this? Oh shit, man, I gotta go. I'll talk to you tomorrow, man. You know, no, come back here, man. Hey, explain this shit.
Screaming at the screen.
Yeah,
you owe me.
Come back here. Now, here's the whole thing with the film that we're just gonna get into real quick that is making this controversial. I made a joke about how Chris Pratt in the movie, when we were doing the trailer talk, I said, you know, he's just waking chicks up because he just want to have sex. And I was kind of close. Jennifer Lawrence in the movie, she's sleeps. Her containment unit is fine. Her cryo chamber, whatever, you know, she's cool. And after a year and some change, Chris Pratt's character is just so lonely, and he's fighting it, but he has to. He says, you know what? I got to have something here. I got to have some kind of companionship. And he wakes her up and tries to keep it a secret for as long as he can. And that's where the moral issue comes in. Was he right to do this? Is the message kind of rapey here? You know, people are saying and especially for the movie to kind of just jump into a whole other film and ignore that.
Mm-hmm. Bill Cosby is kind of rapey. This is straight up rapey.
I disagree. I don't think so.
You know how I would relate this to is because basically you waking this person up is you're giving them a death sentence. Like they spent all this money to get to Homestead 2, which is the name of the second planet they're going to, and like the second you wake somebody up and you know you can't put them back to sleep, you're giving them a death sentence. That's like dating somebody for a year and then she'd be like, oh yeah, by the way, I gave you AIDS. You'd be like, well, like what?
Well, it's not technically a death sentence. They have everything they need. You know, they have everything on there to survive. They're just going to not have anybody else to do it with.
That's a death sentence. And that's how she takes it. And that's how anybody would take it.
You know,
wouldn't you take it that way? Like if somebody woke you up, like I'm trying to get from one spot to another and you've literally taken my life away, my goals, my dreams, that's fucked up.
That is why I feel so bad about what this movie did, because it brings up an issue that needs to be addressed. I mean, it's something that can be argued. I mean, I look at this and the morality issue here. You know, people are saying it's creepy, but I do understand this guy's position. He didn't wake her up just for sex. He didn't do anything to come in and just be. You know, it wasn't a shallow reason. This is a guy that's been in space awake for over a year, and I think the movie does a good job at saying, like, okay, you're gonna come in and you're gonna try to hold your morals over this, but this is weird, but hypothetically, none of us knows what we would do if we were in that situation where we were losing our minds.
If I may, why I disagree with you on that, on giving him a pass on that, because it's a year. It ain't that long. I mean, people go to prison for. Can do that plenty. He had the bartender to talk to. If you were by yourself and you had no other voice and you were doing this, I get it. You get space madness. But he had that bartender who he could bounce that idea off of. He knew it was wrong when he was doing it. And it'd be different if he just woke up a random person who, I need some companionship. But he studied that girl and read up on her and fell in love with her. I mean, that whole act of falling in love with her and then waking her up on top of that takes it over and it makes it just so much more morally wrong than it was otherwise. And then when she comes out, he knows so much about her. He gets, and he's the only one there. He gets her to fall in love with him.
Yeah, and you know what? And just to move on, I'm just going to say that was you see how we're talking about this? None of us are going to agree on it, but you see the discussions that are brought up? Again, it took all that away just to get into some shallow shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If they had really explored it, they could have had something. It would have been like one of those movies where you're like, wow, I did not see that coming. But they brush over it. I mean, in the third act, it gets to the point where Lawrence Fishburne is saying like, yeah, what he did was fucked up, but girl, you need to get over that and just give the boy a chance. And I'm like, no, that's something you would be well within your rights to never forgive that person for.
I'm not even talking about this situation anymore. What I'm talking about is, again, you have something where they just didn't want to get into it and they glossed over something that was deep, questionable, and something that was smart just because they didn't want to make people feel awkward and have to address some hard issues. If it had been a movie that, look, you're looking at two different movies with this. You're looking at some deep science fiction, granted an adventurous morality tale, and then you're looking at, as I said before, empty blockbuster romance. One doesn't have an ending and one don't have a beginning. So
yeah, this is probably the most dirty I felt coming out of a movie I've seen this year. I felt just bad.
That's how I felt that way too. It was when that Madonna movie, Swept Away, where she's on the island with this guy who's abusive to her. He even slaps her around, but she's there long enough that they fall in love, and you're supposed to like wish them happily ever after. I'm like, man, fuck this movie.
Yeah,
this is gross.
So yeah, I mean, look, a lot of people came out the movie. I get it. Not a lot of people gonna be looking at that deep issue, and that's fine if you don't. Some people gonna be satisfied with what they have because you're gonna end on an entertaining note. But for those people who do see what we're seeing, it's not only just a cheap way to get out of this, a bad way to get out of it. I think it's just from a storytelling point of view, it's just irresponsible.
Yeah, it's like, well, yeah, a guy might fuck you over, but if he's handsome, it's okay.
Yeah,
you can just tell
sweet. You can tell he's really sweet though, so it's all right.
And how this movie was marketed, like this is marketed to sci-fi people, and the romance comes in there, and you can tell they left out that major plot twist because they're like, yeah, we can't put this out because nobody will see this.
Just tell you want to be in space with me because I'll open up about 3 of them containers.
Well, and the thing is, for them to have that, for it to be romantic like they wanted, all they had to do was have her pod fail on its own and not him wake her up.
Yeah, no, but they wanted to get deep.
and not resolve it.
Yeah. They try to get deep and then realize, like, oh, we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah. Put a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound. Yeah, this will work.
But you wanted to get deep and realize you couldn't swim. Gamefly brings to your house, to you, over 8,000 new releases and classics that are available to rent, or you can buy them for almost every system out there, current and some old systems. Like I said, man, I've been trying to put my GameCube back to work for years. Gamefly's giving me an excuse to do that. And you can even try 30 days for free by typing in gameflyoffer.com/double toasted. And when you do that, you'll get 30 days for free of games and movies. Get all those things, all of them at once. Just stay in the house. Don't go nowhere because they're all going to get brought right to your mailbox. You can also bring the element of surprise every month to your home in the form of a Loot Crate mystery box. In that box, I can't tell you what it is, but I can guarantee you it is the best in geek and gaming gear. Some people say it's like having Comic-Con brought right to your home. You don't have to leave the house for nothing. You're getting all kind of stuff. And everybody likes a little surprise every month, just a little bit. And here's another surprise for you. If you go to our link, trylootcrate.com/double toasted, and you type in bridge 10, that's the word bridge and the number 10, you can get 10% off, a 10% discount on your first crate. How's that for a surprise right there? Loot Crate, bring the mystery and the surprise to your mailbox once a month with Loot Crate. Hey everyone, thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe to our channel and go over to our home, doubletoasted.com, for more videos and live streams. And remember, stay toasty.